Fifth episode begins with Theo and Lizzy in their affair era. After this, Lizzy fetches her clothes while in Theo's art studio. He begs her to stay. Never mind that she's about to walk down the aisle and he himself is married. Theo admits he's falling in love with Lizzy, which gives her pause. Then Nan arrives. Her return is unexpected. Lizzy ducks behind an easel. Nan apologizes for everything. She claims she has a solution to their marital dilemma. Theo suggests they reconvene inside the castle. Once Nan begins the trek back to Tintagel, Theo reassures Lizzy that it's okay to emerge. She flees the scene with tears streaking her face. Next, Nan proposes that she remain at Tintagel for the sake of appearances. Obviously, divorce is off the table. She will stay there until the bill passes and it's safe for Ginny to return from Italy. Then Nan will get her own place. Theo will be free to do what he pleases. Meanwhile, Conchita and Richard ensure preparations are underway for Lizzy and Hector's impending nuptials. The Brightlingsea household is full of floral arrangements. Conchita has a heart-to-heart with Mabel. They mend fences. Mabel reminds Conchita that if she were in the market for a husband, she would enlist Conchita's services, preferably without her mom's money. Mabel tells Conchita that Mrs. Elmsworth has made it her lifelong mission to fix her. Mrs. Elmsworth eavesdrops on their conversation with a pained expression. Conchita pivots, stating that Honoria is really flourishing. She's practically screaming to break free. Mabel looks pensive. Elsewhere, Ginny and Seadown take a walk with little Freddie. He wonders what he can do to win back Ginny's trust. Seadown kisses her hand, claiming he's glad she's putting herself first for once. Ginny smiles. Then Lizzy discloses her affair with Theo to Mabel, who already had an idea that something was afoot. She gazes at her wedding dress and veil. Lizzy admits that she feels feverish with Theo in that she can't think straight. Her heart's on fire. She doesn't feel that fire with Hector. What if she wakes up one day with regret over marrying the wrong man? Later, Nan and Theo decide to attend Lizzy and Hector's pre-wedding bash together. Nan discovers Lizzie's earring on the stairs, but doesn't realize it belongs to Lizzy. She pockets it. At the party, Lizzy and Hector greet their guests, including Dylan Mulvaney as Miss Bloomingdale. She calls Hector heavenly. Ginny and Freddie meet Seadown for lunch. Seadown reveals he purchased 2 boat tickets for them so they can return to England. He approves of her staying with Nan in the meantime. Naturally, Ginny goes into panic mode but conceals it. She excuses herself, claiming Freddie needs his nap. Elsewhere, Guy broods with a glass of wine. He's quite busy being broody. Paloma drops by with things for Ginny, believing she's with Guy. However, Guy realizes that Ginny is nowhere to be found. That's when Paloma calls Guy out for canoodling with Nan. Guy finally discloses the truth. He and Ginny aren't married. They fled to Italy to escape her abusive husband. Meanwhile, Reed chats with Honoria about a teaching gig in Provence, France. Mabel catches wind of their conversation. Initially, the idea of Honoria leaving her to pursue her dreams takes Mabel aback, but look at how far Miss Marable has come. Then Hector toasts to Lizzy and his future mother-in-law. Nan and Theo make a fashionable and public entrance. Theo surreptitiously reaches for Lizzy's hand and urges her to meet him in the park at 4 p.m. After this, Mabel helps Honoria dress for their toast to Lizzy. Mabel encourages Honoria to live life to the fullest. She's lucky to have seen the world. Now it's Honoria's turn. Next, Mabel delivers a lovely speech for her big sister. She tells the crowd about Lizzy's marital and familial hopes, to have 10 children to run races with her, a husband who gives her sweets every day, and a juggling sky-blue kitten. Mabel can't fulfill the first 2, but she can deliver the goods for that last one. Honoria emerges with blue cat ears and a matching vest. She juggles oranges for the cheering partygoers. Later, Paloma brings Guy a bottle of wine before asking him about Nan. Guy claims he doesn't want to talk about her. After all, she's gone. It's time to move on. Paloma proposes they get their drink on instead. Nothing soothes heartache like getting plastered with a buddy in an oceanfront apartment in Italy. Elsewhere, Lizzy arrives in the park for her clandestine meeting with Theo. She insists she's going to marry Hector as planned. Not even her love for Theo will alter that course. Meanwhile, it's montage time in Italy as Guy and Paloma let loose. They draw each other and chase each other. Guy drunkenly urges Paloma to punch him as hard as she can, which she does. She tries to catch him as he falls and lands on top of him. Guy asks why they haven't done this previously before kissing her. At the same time, Nan, Conchita, Lizzy, and Mabel have a slumber party the night before the wedding. Nan tells the gang all about her Italian excursion. She asserts that Ginny loves and misses them all. Lizzy apologizes for lying about Guy's letter to Nan and encouraging her to go. The following morning, Guy and Paloma wake up in bed. Paloma begins dressing. She admits she's glad that he wasn't the man Ginny claimed was bad in bed. Guy asks where she's going. Paloma insists they're adults. They can compartmentalize. Guy wants to see her again, though. Paloma reciprocates the sentiment before they kiss. Then, Mrs. Elmsworth wakes up our titular Buccaneers on the day of the ceremony. Theo is already outside, brooding on the bridge. Reed helps Hector get dressed for his big day. He tells his son he's proud of him and that Lizzy is a wonderful woman. Hector believes they'll look out for one another. That's what it's all about, right? Reed admits that's some of what it's all about. After this, Blanche, a.k.a. the Dowager Duchess, appears. She and Reed finally kiss. She's ready to take their relationship to the next level. Meanwhile, Mabel and Mrs. Elmsworth have a heart-to-heart after Mabel admits she wants to return with the latter to New York. Mrs. Elmsworth tells her daughter about her time in Montreal as a young woman before marrying Mr. Elmsworth. Initially, she didn't want to leave Montreal. However, there's a wide, wide world outside Montreal. You can have many homes, and Mabel will find her way. She's a bright, strong young woman. They hug it out. In Italy, Paloma drops her things and stoops down to pick them up. During this act, she notices her hand, particularly her ring finger. It boasts a gold band. Then Theo runs toward the church for a sweeping, romantic gesture to stop Lizzy from tying the knot with Hector. Lizzy and the gang arrive at the church. Before she enters the church, though, she spots a sweaty Theo standing off to the side. Lizzy excuses herself for a few minutes. Theo urges Lizzy not to marry Hector unless he can give her the fiery love she deserves. A whole love. He advises her not to settle. However, if she's certain that Hector is the one, he'll cheer her on in that church. Theo understands that Lizzy deserves more than to be the mistress. After all, he can't divorce Nan. If Hector doesn't make her heart flutter, perhaps Lizzy should choose herself until she finds that all-consuming, passionate love. Lizzy returns to the church entrance, where Nan, Conchita, Mabel, Honoria, and Mrs. Elmsworth wait for her. They're all concerned. They notice Lizzy has been crying. However, the screen cuts to black before we learn about her decision.